So I'm trying something new, and I'm just gonna talk off the top of my head. I have some notes, but I'm not gonna try to go too much off of a script, which is something really new for me. So if you see me look away, I'm just looking at my notes. I'm not really sure how people do this because remembering a script is really difficult. Anyway, we're just gonna go over my impressions. It's not gonna be like a whole ton of information about the beta, I hope, because my normal kind of style is to go on these long-winded, like I'm doing now, talk a ton about sometimes unimportant stuff. So I just want to let you know that I didn't really watch or read any media about the game beforehand. So some of the stuff I mentioned, I found out later was actually already talked about by them in interviews and things like that. So whatever. First, we're going to start with what I didn't like. So I'm throwing an addendum in here to add something I didn't like and then something I did like. They're both pretty small, but the thing I didn't like is not insignificant. In that this game makes my PS4 Pro sound like a freaking jet engine. It's so loud. And then a thing I did like, the color on this, when you're different characters, it'll switch colors. So it's green for Hulk, red for Black Widow, yellow for Miss Marvel, and I think that's super cool. Sometimes I don't have footage of it, but walking through the story missions, Miss Marvel would kind of push stuff out of the way that wasn't there, which was a little weird, but that's a small little bug, which isn't game breaking or anything. I'll still play the game despite all the bugs I'm talking about. It's normal to have, and still going to play the game anyway. It's in beta, so they don't really matter all that much. And then another thing I want to mention was in the Stark Realities mission, there was one building later on that characters got stuck on. They got stuck walking on, and it was every single time I did this mission. You'll find out later why I did this mission so many times, but literally every single time I did this mission, full disclosure, when I was doing it as, I think it was Black Widow, I think I was running it on, I had to try to get a character stuck. So, maybe I lied earlier when I said every single time, but that was the only time where I walked around this building a couple times and then a character finally got stuck. But the fact is, they can get stuck there. It seemed to only happen to the smaller character, like Hulk, didn't ever get stuck. But, Miss Marvel, as you see in the video right now, Miss Marvel, Iron Man, Black Widow, they all got stuck walking in a certain area, and then I couldn't have them in the rest of the mission. I didn't really know where to ask about or submit these bugs. There was no kind of option that I saw within the beta to really report bugs. So I'm guessing this beta is just to test server load, and that's probably why they're starting with PlayStation, because they have their deal with PlayStation. But it makes sense that they're doing smaller beta, bit bigger beta with the closed beta in all platforms, and then finally the open beta just to test server load. So I'm not even sure if they're going to be looking for these bugs or at these bugs. Next, the equipment not changing characters' appearance, I was a little bummed out by. Doesn't really matter in the long run. And then I found out later that they had actually already talked about this, but I had assumed from, I think, the first trailer when they were talking about the gear and stuff, that the gear would be on the armor that you're equipping, so you can change your character's look that way, and it wasn't just based on buying skins. And I do have to say, there's a lot of skins that are earned through their own type of battle pass, which I think is called a challenge card, if I remember correctly. But there's a lot of free skins, which is really cool. But this is about complaints. So, yeah, I just, Miss Marvel has armlets that she could put on as one of her equipment. And when you change it, it doesn't change the armlet. She has an insignia equipment piece, and when you change that, it doesn't change. So to me, it just felt a little weird that that's what the equipment was called. With Hulk, it seems to be the equipment is his cell structure, like bone structure and stuff like that. Totally makes sense. Black Widow, she has like her vest, which is like a bulletproof vest that she would wear underneath her clothes. So again, that makes total sense. But then for, you know, some of the other characters, it seemed like it would change their appearance. Again, not a deal breaker at all, just something that I like in these types of games and RPGs is customizing and changing my character appearance. And I was just a like tiny little bit bummed that I couldn't do that. And then to move on to what I like, first I want to say that I think it's really cool that the marketplace was actually disabled for the beta, so you can't buy extra currency to purchase skins, but they do give you I think it was 3,500 coins or whatever it's called in this game to purchase skins, nameplates, emotes, things like that for each of the 4 characters that are featured in this beta. That was really neat, so you can test that stuff out. Every character feels really good. Like, they feel like I think that character should feel. And the gameplay had characters doing things I didn't know I wanted them to do until they were doing it. For example, in the beginning, you play Thor, and they teach you to throw his hammer, and I thought, oh, it'd be so cool if his hammer, like, pinned people to stuff. And then sure enough, it like stuck a dude to a truck when I threw it. And then when it teaches you to pull it back, like I pulled it to my hand and it like flew through dudes and kept beating them up and stuff, which was really cool. And then it made me want to keep throwing my hammer. And then like it pinned a dude again, and I thought, oh, it'd be cool if there was a way to do an attack and it comes back to my hand and then like smacks a dude or something. And then I pressed triangle and then pulled it back, and then he's like slams it into the ground, and that was really cool. And then like as Captain America, you throw his shield at the shielded enemy's feet, and it like knocks them up in the air, and they do a flip. And then all the characters are like that. Like Captain America was doing his flips and throwing his shield and stuff that you see in the movies, which was really cool. Miss Marvel gets giant and like slaps dudes around, and you know, uses like a high five attack where she like shoves her fist forward and like throws people out of the way. Hulk has his combos where he's like slamming the ground and then like throws the ground up in the air, which I think is my favorite thing to do. I thought it was super cool that he does it. And then he has his like, you know, massive like clap attack that he does for, I think that one was his ultimate. Iron Man summoned Hulkbuster, and then like I freaked out a little because it was so cool. Needless to say, I was blown away. All their ultimates are really cool. Like, I don't even know what Black Widow was doing, but it was super cool, felt super strong. Hulk is the only one who seems to have like a really quick ultimate, but then he has another special attack which seems to put him in like rage mode, which another thing some of the characters have, like you hold down R2 and it uses a ability bar, I guess that's the best way to describe it. It felt like Diablo abilities, where it builds up over time as you attack people, and then you hold the trigger R2, and the character, like for Hulk, he goes into rage mode where he seems to ignore attacks and just pummels people, and that gets him his health back, which is my way to play Hulk. I think he was like one of my favorite characters to play because he's an all-out tank. Like, I didn't bother really dodging too much. I know I could have, and it probably would have gone better if I did, but Hulk is just like a powerhouse. Like, he plays like you want him to play, which is super cool. Like, I feel like these characters are the best realized versions of these characters that I've experienced in a game, which is really cool. Iron Man's ultimate, I already talked about. He pulls out Hulkbuster, and then I think that was it. Yeah, that was it for the ultimates. And then Miss Marvel, when you hold her R2 attack, she like gets a little bit bigger, and she's able to kind of dodge out of the way of enemy attacks, and she stretches a little strong. It's different than her ultimate, where she just gets like gigantic, which is really cool. Each character has a ranged attack. Hulk does this really cool thing where he grabs the ground and like pulls up debris and like chucks that at people, and the animation doesn't take that long. It's only like a second delay, but it looks cool. The one I was worried about the most was Miss Marvel, because like Thor throws his hammer, Black Widow shoots her guns, Iron Man has his blaster, Cap has his shield, and then Miss Marvel is stretchy. but her range attack where she like throws out her fist to punch stuff and stretches her arm, it never really feels out of place. Like I was worried it would either not go far enough or felt like it stretches too far and it would just be weird, but that never happened. There were some times where I like missed range attack, but it was like few and far between, and every time I did I was like, oh yeah, I'm way too far away to actually hit that. It's really the best version of these characters that I've played. Like each character has its own style and feels unique and true to what that character would play like if they were in their own game, which is kind of amazing to me. Like the way I did a mission as Miss Marvel was kind of a slower, more methodical, like I took more time, and as the Hulk it was fun to just jump around and stomp everything. And maybe that's just because of how I played the game, but I played that way because it just felt so good to play these characters that way. Traversal is great, like each character has their own unique way of getting around and it never feels like the game gets in the way of that. What I mean is I never feel too slow as like Black Widow who can run and jump because she's got her like grapple hook that she can hook onto, or I didn't feel like I needed to slow down when I was flying around as Iron Man or anything like that. And then I also like how they let you rate the mission after you complete it. I remember Black Flag had that feature, and Ubisoft said it was to help the developer make better missions for future installments. So I'm wondering if this is just a beta feature, or if it'll be in the main game. Either way, I think it's pretty neat. I rated them all 5 because I enjoyed them all. Overall, I'm enjoying the game, obviously. My biggest concern is how long I'm going to be, like, pumped about playing this game, but with all the skill trees and like it looks like there's going to be more than just the main skill line, or primary skill line I think it was called, if I remember correctly. It looks like there's going to be a lot more skills and combos that you can unlock and do, and I think that's going to keep my interest for a little bit longer, but I am still a little worried about how long this game can like hold me. Like once my gushing over how well this game plays wears off and I just get used to it, like how long am I really going to want to keep repeating missions and like doing the same stuff and all that? My hope for that is like frequent DLC that brings in new characters and new missions. Like we already know we're getting post-launch DLC. I think Hawkeye is coming at launch. We know Spider-Man unfortunately is only on PlayStation 4. Which kind of sucks. We know they're each getting their own missions and things like that, so that's cool, but like that's my hope, is they keep releasing post-launch content, because I think that's going to keep me interested, is leveling up new characters and playing as new characters. And I think that's like the biggest draw to this game, is if you're a big Avengers or Marvel fan or anything like that, just wanting to play all the characters instead of like, you know, you'll pick one as your main, but hopefully you'll also want to experience and play as all the characters. And the game seems I don't want to say short enough, but it seems like you'll never fall too far behind in anything to where you won't feel like wanting to play other characters, which I think gets in the way of other games like this. Where you don't really want to, after you get to level whatever, switch to a new character and play through. Like this game, I feel like is fun now, and it's going to keep being fun to level up new characters and stuff, which is the hardest thing for this type of game. So I'm not going over what drop zones and war zones are, and like all the gear and marketplace and skins and stuff like that that we know about so far. If you would like to see a video about that, you can leave a comment below, and I will try to get one out before the open beta in 2 weeks. Since it's going to have an open beta in 2 weeks, I highly suggest you download the game and try it out for yourself. I, for one, cannot wait to download it and try it on PC. If you like this video, if you like it, go ahead and like the video. Like that word says to do, like. It really lets me know that this is what people want to see. If you have any suggestions or anything, please put them in the comments below. I want to get better. Tell me I suck. Whatever. I don't care. I want feedback. And then if you want to see more from me, go ahead and subscribe. I mostly focus on Destiny 2 content, but I will probably be covering Avengers more in the future. Iron Man? Iron Man? Are you okay? Hey dude, you okay? Come on bud, let's go. What are you doing? You're running into that wall there? That rail? You okay? Let's go. Come on, bud. Let's go. Come on. Come on, bud. Over here. Okay, so I guess we're done with Iron Man in this mission. He's not coming with us.